Now that we've taken a look at the RoutingBox desktop client for your office and the driver app for the drivers, let's take a look at some of the tools within RoutingBox that you can use to interact with your accounts and your passengers. What we're looking at now is the RoutingBox ClientLink app. Now this is a white labeled application, which means it's built for you with your branding. So where you see the RoutingBox logo and name here along with orange as the colors, that's actually all customizable for you. So it'll be your brand name, your logo. You will choose the name of the app for the stores that it'll go into, as well as the icon for the app. Your app is loaded into the Apple Store, so the App Store for Apple devices where your Apple users, your iPhone users can go in and download the app, as well as the Google Play Store, which is for Android devices. So both Apple devices and Android devices will get access to your application. Let's take a look at the process that a person's going to go through when they download your app. So the first thing is I'm going to go ahead and click sign up the first time I download, and I'm going to just enter some basic information here. My name, my email address, my phone number, and as I'm doing this, if I tried to enter this with bad information, maybe my passwords didn't match, or if I were to type something that didn't look like an email address into the email field, didn't have an @ or the .com at the end, or .org or whatever it might be, the validation tool will go ahead and catch that for me. In my case, hopefully I've done everything right, and I have. So now here we can choose an access code. You'll be able to choose from a bunch of different access codes to help identify clients. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the last four of my social here, and then I can type that in. Now I'm not going to complete my registration as I already have a registered user, but what happens at that point is the application is actually going to go back and match that person's information up using an algorithm to a client profile within your RoutingBox app. That gives us access to all the trips associated with their profile. So that gives us some easy access to go ahead and be able to share all of their trip data with them, not just trips that are booked through the application. So here I am logged into the app on the ClientLink interface here. We're going to go through some of the tools here. While that's happening, we're going to log into RoutingBox as well, so you can see how that's going to interact with the RoutingBox dispatch application. So let's go ahead and find that client. We're going to go ahead and create a trip in RoutingBox. So not through the application, but we're going to book one right through RoutingBox so we can see what that client's experience is like. I'm going to go ahead and choose that client. You'll see that the email I used to log in is right here. I'm going to go ahead and just schedule a really quick trip for myself here. And this is all through the normal RoutingBox tools here. So very quick and easy to go ahead and book my trip. We'll say this trip is, I'll make it a self-pay trip here. And we're going to go ahead and save that. So now your client, when they have a trip that is pre-booked, which obviously most of your broker type work or your accounts, that trip is going to be pre-booked ahead of time. That passenger will get a notification 24 hours in advance of the pickup. Our goal there is to remind them of the trip and try to prevent no-shows for you. They'll get the same reminder 2 hours before the pickup to encourage them to be ready, and again, same thing to try to discourage those no-shows. The client will have access to open the trip in the app and then go ahead and cancel it if needed to, again, try to prevent that no-show. Obviously, our best thing that can happen is that person's going to go to their appointment so that we can take that transportation and be compensated for it. But canceling it is certainly better than sending a vehicle out and having that client no-show on us. And then obviously we've wasted a resource for that time and we're not getting paid. Both not a good situation. So let's go ahead and get that trip out to a driver here. And then we'll kind of take a look at what the client's experience looks like. So we'll find the trip for myself. Here I am. I'm going to get that trip out to one of my drivers here. And now when we go back to the app, once the app registers that a driver has been assigned, usually this will happen a little bit in advance, we're actually going to go ahead and get an ETA that will show up. So it looks like that driver must be really close by, which I assigned it to a driver that's probably on site here. And then we'll see the actual location of that driver when I mark the trip en route to pickup. So on the map here, they'll actually see the vehicle coming towards them along with that ETA. They'll also receive a notification saying, hey, Jim is on his way driving a white Dodge Grand Caravan, whatever that vehicle might be. So you can really have that transparency that the client is looking for, understanding when their trip is coming, knowing who the driver is, what type of vehicle they should be getting into, so there's no mistake made, especially if they're at a major facility. Sometimes you have that where there's some confusion around which vehicle is there for them. Now, in addition to this, the client has the ability to mark themselves ready for their will call return trip when the next trip on their roster is a will call return. This will check the ready box that is in the RoutingBox dispatch software. So this box here, which for most users, it's based on your settings a little bit, but for most users will bold the trip and bring it to the top so that dispatch knows they need to get a driver out for that trip to get that person picked up. Clients will also have the ability to book trips through RoutingBox. So the address field here, normally if we're being tracked, this would be the current address that I'm located at. In this case, because I don't have a real device here, it's not going to give me that. But now I can start to put in where I'm headed. Now we'll move on. When should we pick you up? What time should we pick you up? We're going to default to now, obviously. Do we need a return ride? This is a very unique thing where we can schedule a quick return to that address if that client does indeed need a return ride. And then, do I have any special needs? Do I need a two-man assist? Do I have an aide that needs to be on board? Do I want oxygen on board, etc.? I can choose a funding source. Now, you're going to see Logistic Error shows up here because I have that funding source assigned to me. Obviously, there need to be specific things in place to book a trip through a broker, so we can restrict that for you, where we only have the ability to have that person be invoiced, be a private pay, or for specific accounts we can open up invoicing. But obviously for your Logistic Care, your Medicaid trips, they need to book through another means, so we'll block that so you won't see that there. That's in the demo just so we can demonstrate a couple different options for you. And that person can take any notes, so I'll be at the side door wearing a red baseball cap. Now we can move on. It's going to give me a confirmation of everything that I've done, and then I'm going to go ahead and confirm. Once my trip is confirmed, that trip will go right into RoutingBox, and that information will go right there. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our other new tool for you to interact, and this one's to interact with your accounts. It's an online booking portal. So for those accounts that send you trips directly, maybe they're faxing you or emailing you or calling you for trips, and they'd really like to have a better way to put them in. You'd like to have a better way for them to go into RoutingBox, and maybe you'd like to provide some more transparency to that client to really help them out so they know when people are arriving, you're not getting the "where is my ride" calls. And again, you're offering that awesome transparency, which hopefully can help you get more rides with that client. Again, this is white labeled, so this is all branded to you with your logos, your colors. But you can create a user for that account, and they'll go ahead and log in. And on the portal here, they'll actually have the ability to go ahead and book their trips right in the portal. So that allows you to give them access to putting trips essentially right into your RoutingBox instead of having to call you or email you or fax you. Now they'll also be able to see all of the trips that they have scheduled for a specific date by choosing that date. When a driver is assigned, the driver name and vehicle will fill in, and then when the vehicle is on its way, like we see here, we can actually see that vehicle's location appear on the map, so they can see exactly what's going on and get a good estimate with the ETA as well as to when that driver will arrive. This can help them with negotiating through the challenges of moving people in and out of their facility. Planning ahead a little bit, knowing when you're going to be there, allows them to be a little bit more proactive, so that A means less wait time for you, and B means more efficiency for them, which can be a big impact on their business. So this becomes not only a great tool for you to improve your efficiency by getting these trips directly into your software and communicating and being more transparent with your account, but more importantly, it can actually be a great sales tool for you to be able to go in and talk to facilities and providers about how you can solve some of their problems with transportation and they'll be able to see exactly what you're doing to help them solve those problems. So we hope that you found these tools effective with more interaction with your clients, more interaction with your accounts that are paying you for transportation and are arranging those trips. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you soon. We can do a live one-on-one demo. Below this video, you'll see a link. One is to sign up. If you'd like to sign up for RoutingBox now, go ahead and click that link, and that will take you to a form to fill out for you to be able to get us the information we need to start working on getting you set up with RoutingBox. If you would like to learn more and talk more about how RoutingBox can help your business specifically, you can go ahead and schedule a one-on-one demo by clicking the button below to schedule time with an expert consultant. That will link you to a calendar tool that will link to our calendars and show you available meeting times so that we can set up a time to work one-on-one with you and talk about how RoutingBox can get you on a route to better business. If you prefer, you can also give us a call at 716-202-9121 or reach out to us via email at info@routingbox.com. We're looking forward to working with you.